Oh yeah. Oh baby. Talk dirty to me. With some rather ridiculous driver releases in 2024, just which one is the best low spin driver of the year and which one should you have in your bag? Hi everyone, my name's James Robinson. Welcome back to this YouTube channel. Today we have a couple of drivers we're going to test, and one of which may well be the dark horse of the stable because it's been out the longest and it's sure going to be replaced the quickest. Hi everyone, my name's James Robinson. Welcome back to this YouTube channel. Guys, if you're new here, please make sure you do consider hitting that subscribe button. Today I have the Titleist TSR3 driver, one of the best low spin drivers I've tested pretty much ever, against, well, I dare say, the best low spin driver ever, the Callaway Ai Smoke Triple Diamond. Both these drivers are fitted in my specs, and both of them are fitted randomly with exactly the same shafts, making this the fairest driver test you've ever seen. Guys, do me a favour, get in the comments below which driver do you think is going to win, which will be the longest, which will be the straightest. We're testing both out here in the golf course and of course in the studio for all those numbery good stuff. We'll kick things off with the TSR3, a gorgeous looking shape, very, very traditional looking. If you are that golfer that still wears FootJoy shoes, still wears khakis, still wants to look prim and proper, you don't like hoodies, this is going to be the driver for you. I love the shape of this driver. Titleist never fail with the shapes of the heads and the sound and the feel as well. I mean, look at that for a shot, by the way. A very tight driving hole here. That's fading nicely on the wind down to the right hand side. And if we look down at these two heads, it's pretty much chalk and cheese. You can see the Titleist is that lovely traditional pear tier shaped drop. I think I've said that right. And we can see the Ai Smoke is that new school carbon effect on top with the multi-material design. And if we talk shelf appeal for these two clubs, I think it's fair to say both of them hold their own. You'll see both these clubs are 9 degree, both in standard setting, and both of them have a movable weight technology. The Ai Smoke, we can move front to back to change CG and change that MOI. The Titleist, we can move it around that radial weighting on the back, closer to the heel or the toe, depending entirely what ball flight you want. Now, if I were to offer you a hypothesis for today's video, I would probably say the Titleist will be slightly more forgiving, maybe a little bit more accurate, and the Callaway Ai Smoke Triple Diamond, that is a mouthful, isn't it, will probably be the longest if we hit it correctly. The whole Ai Smoke range is very, very good, and I was so pleased when Callaway decided to pretty much keep the Paradigm as it was, just tweak it to a nicer colour and vaguely change the face. Come on, same shot. Wow. Wow. Totally different sound, slightly straighter actually, which I can't quite believe. I can't wait to get down there and see where they've finished, because they were two very good golf swings for me. I haven't been swinging that great, which makes this challenge a rather difficult one for me, because if you are in the market for one of these low spin drivers, you really have to have your A game, both in your fitting and both all the time, realistically. And I really do enjoy doing these tests both out on the golf course and on the Golf Stand Simulator, because I think it's vitally important to test golf clubs outside. If you were to go for a club fitting that was just inside for numbers, I wouldn't be confident walking away with that driver. I'd want to test it either out on a driving range to see the ball flight, or out here on the golf course to see the ball flight and see how it performs under any kind of pressure whatsoever. I can see one of the shots already down on the fairway. I think that's going to be the Callaway. So let's see. Oh, we're going to crash. So let's see where the Titleist has finished as well. I didn't anticipate this with the first shot of the day. So this is the Callaway, and the Callaway's in the fairway. The Titleist is there. So the Titleist is actually a little bit longer, but a touch more offline, and that's not going to have much run out at all, because as you can see, it's still quite damp underfoot here in the UK. Same golf ball, same spec driver, both fitted. Well, to be honest, two good shots. I'm taking both those on this hole all day, but I've got to give the first one to the Titleist. And how long is the Titleist going to be around for? Because we all know that Titleist cycle is a little bit different to Callaway and TaylorMade's. Is it that kind of year? But then when we are talking low spin drivers, how important is forgiveness? How important is that bad shot that you hit? I think most golfers need forgiveness more than they need a low spin bomber. Even on tour, a lot of the pros won't use the low spin version, or they'll use a special version of the low spin version. They'll use the standard version, the version that offers them a little bit enhanced MOI, that CG a tiny bit further back, and they might lose 4 or 5 yards on average, but if you're hitting more fairways around, it's probably going to help you at that level. And I'm not here to argue the fact that, say, if we go into strokes gained, yes, if you hit it further, you're more likely to hit it closer, which means you're more likely to hole more putts and generally score lower, but you also have to keep it on the planet. And I've seen so many golfers go through drivers just like this one, so many golfers, probably being myself on occasion as well, and not keeping it on the planet. So if one driver does offer up a tiny bit more forgiveness than the other, that's worth its weight in gold, especially when we start talking about gold and how much these drivers cost. I can't wait to see what Titleist do throw at us. I haven't heard anything about a new one, but I think the cycle generally comes to an end of this year. Right. This is the Callaway. Same shot, please. Maybe a little bit more of a draw. That's an absolute knuckleball. It's not, I'm not moaning, it's not the shot I anticipated. That's gone in that bunker. That bunker's a long way down there as well, to be brutally honest. I was actually hoping for more of a high draw there, but it was more of just like a knuckleball pull. I don't particularly mind that too much. Can we reach that bunker with the Titleist as well? Let's go for a similar shot. Head shape, I'm not sure which I prefer. I really don't know. That's the shot we want. That might carry the bunker. That is so powerful. Now this might put us under a false pretense because the Callaway's gone in the bunker, the Titleist has just missed it to the left. When we get up there, I'm going to show you just how meaty this is. Don't sleep on the Titleist drivers this year. If you look at driver counts actually on the PGA Tour, I'm going to have to wipe that because that's really upsetting me. If you look at driver counts on the PGA Tour and the DP World, it's always going to be the European Tour to me, generally Titleist do come out there on top. The reason being, they're absolutely brilliant, realistically. Loads of adjustment, fantastic feel, fantastic sound. What more do you want? Just not as much marketing, I don't think. Is that the problem for them when they come up against the Callaway, the TaylorMade, the Ping, and of course the PXGs? And I do think there may be something in the fact that I haven't been playing that well recently, but putting these two drivers down makes me almost think about my golf swing more, makes me think I need my spine angle back. I know I need to produce plenty of dynamic loft to get this ball launching because it's going to be low spin, and that's how you get the long drives. I put something big, cumbersome and forgiving down, it's like, just hit it, James, and then it goes anywhere and everywhere. This is interesting. So you can see the Titleist in the fairway actually. I'm not sure if it pitched like, I thought it just missed the bunker, but it must have pitched almost here, and the Callaway looking very down on itself in the pond there. We've had a very bad winter. But by the way, how good does this place look to say the winter we've had? Absolutely ridiculous. That's 2-0 to the Titleist. Let's jump inside, let's see what the numbers say, then let's finish off on a slightly better driving hole, an enjoyable one, you could say. Okay, so numbers for what I think could be potentially one of the best low spin drivers of 2024 and 2023, because, or 20, did it come out in 22 those? Like, we are due a new Titleist release at the end of this year. That's why I wanted to get this in there, because there might be a point this year where these drop in price because there's a new one on the market. Obviously, the AI Smoke Paradigm Triple Diamond is brand spanking new, so you're not going to get that discounted this year. But I've actually been testing quite a lot of drivers today, and I feel like I'm swinging quite well. I might have unlocked something. I've been hitting forgiving drivers really well. You can see the numbers on the screen on the last one. 163 ball speed, 300 yard total, and a nice low spin. So ideally with these clubs, if we just put the same swings on them, we can hit similar shots. That felt really nice. 161 ball was a little bit toey if I'm being brutally honest, but 272 carry, 294 total. Backspin at 1700, that's not a lot of backspin. We need to be launching that nicely to get any distance at all through these. And the on-course test will have been really interesting with these, but this is where you really want to see which one's longest and potentially most forgiving. Do you care about forgiveness when we're talking about these clubs? I'm not sure people potentially would, but let's go again. Oh God, that feels good. It really does feel good. That spun a little bit higher. It's 3000 spin. It's 162 ball, it's a 265 total and a 280 total, carry, sorry, 280 total distance. One more, because I want this just to be a slogging match. Out on the golf course, we're more strategic, we're seeing what's in play, where the ball is, might even play a worse ball. Probably not, because it might go anywhere. But in here, it's literally, come on, what have you got? 164 ball, that's gone left, 2,500 spin, it's going to carry around 260, 265, running up to 285. We're seeing really 270 yard, which for me is around average realistically. The Titleist, both these clubs are in my specs as well, by the way, pretty much fitted to everything it needs to be, or what it needed to be back in the day. This looks so traditional. I feel like Adam Scott when I stand up to it. I've lost 4 stone, Bobby, and gained a foot in height. Get there before you did. How good did that sound, Bobby, though? 163 ball, this is the perfect golf shot. This is the perfect golf shot for me. That's 302.
Excellent.
My throat's gone dry, my back's seized up. But I honestly think this Titleist, like, you know, if they are going to release a new one because they will, because it's a cycle, where do they go? Titleist have, like, not really changed much over the years, have they? But they've not needed to. Like Callaway, I was so happy when we saw it was an AI Smoke paradigm and they hadn't changed it because it didn't need changing. That's a great driver in its own right. Just like this one. That's that left one. That should be around a 265 carry, similar to what we saw with the Callaway 260 carry. So down a little bit when I hit that left one. That's not a bad thing because that'd just be further in the trees, wouldn't it? 2.8 spin. Let's get back out on the golf course and let's see which one is the best low spin driver. I can't even speak. 164 ball, but that's spun up a little bit. It's 270. I'm going one more, Bobby. Adam my Scott. There. Oh my God. Look at that. I'm shocking myself. And that's why we keep going again. We go again. I'll have a heart attack, I think. Okay, this is my favourite driving hole pretty much in the world. Not because it's easy, but because you have to hit a really good drive. You can either start at the 150 marker with a touch of fade, or if you're really ballsy, you can start it just inside the bunker and try and whip it in with the draw. Today I'm feeling the fade, just because I've been playing the fade most of the year. But as you can see, not much to separate these clubs internally, or should I say inside, with numbers, because they're both fantastic and they're both fitted to my specs. So it's going to depend on me, on my swing, and how consistent I am. And we all know that I'm about as consistent as the British summertime. Although that's consistently shit, isn't it? So yeah, we'll go with it. Right, at the 50 marker, the key for me is trying to eradicate the left side. If I can aim at that and know it's going to fade back, I'm quite happy. Callaway first up. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Talk dirty to me. Probably a little bit too much movement on that one if I'm being honest. It started left of it, and it's finished realistically right side of the fairway. That's massive though, that's a long way down there. We've not got far in to this gorgeous green with a cavernous bunker. Now let's go similar with the Titleist. I'm being really picky there, but I think you have to be when you are testing clubs. Similar shot at the 150. Marginal movement back for the win. Oh no. Left! And that's where it can all go awry with these beautiful drivers. Guys, do me a favour, get in the comments below which driver would you have in 2024. I'm none the wiser.